Take time to reflect on the situation and consider all options before filing for divorce. Seek professional help from a therapist or counselor to explore ways of resolving issues in the marriage. Consider mediation as an alternative to court proceedings, which can be costly and emotionally draining. Make sure you are aware of your legal rights and obligations under the law. Understand that children may be affected by a divorce, so take their needs into consideration when making decisions about the future of your family. Be honest with yourself about why you want a divorce and what it will mean for everyone involved. Don't make any rash decisions. Take time to think things through carefully before taking action. Talk openly with your spouse about how you both feel and try to reach an agreement without involving lawyers or going to court if possible. If there is violence or abuse in the relationship, seek help immediately from a qualified professional who can provide support and advice on how best to protect yourself and your family members from harm. Respect each other's feelings even if they differ from yours. Remember that communication is key in any successful relationship, including during times of difficulty such as this one. Avoid using children as pawns in negotiations between parents. Focus instead on finding solutions that are beneficial for everyone involved, especially them. Don't let emotions get out of control. Try not to argue or fight with each other over small matters that could easily be resolved peacefully if approached calmly instead of aggressively. Seek out support networks such as friends, family members, religious leaders, or community organizations who can provide emotional guidance during this difficult period in life. Don't go through it alone. Remember that no matter what happens between spouses during a divorce process, it is important for both parties to remain civil towards one another, especially when children are involved. Try not to blame either party for the breakdown of the marriage. Focus instead on finding ways forward together rather than assigning fault where none may exist, or at least not entirely. Make sure all financial arrangements are discussed openly between both parties prior to filing for divorce so there is no confusion later down the line regarding assets, debts, etc. Consider seeking legal advice early on so you know exactly what rights obligations you have under state law. This will also help avoid potential disputes further down the line should disagreements arise over certain matters, for example, child custody. Keep communication open throughout proceedings even if it feels uncomfortable at times, as this will ensure both parties understand their respective roles and responsibilities within any agreements reached. G. Parenting plans, etc. Don't forget about yourself during this process. Make sure you take care of your own mental health by engaging in activities which bring joy into your life. G. Exercise classes, hobbies. If possible, try not involve extended family members too much into discussions surrounding separation, divorce unless absolutely necessary. Keep conversations focused solely between two people directly affected by decision being made. Remain mindful throughout entire process. Remember why decision was made initially and stay focused on achieving desired outcome without letting emotions cloud judgment too much. Be prepared for unexpected outcomes. Although every effort should be made towards reaching amicable resolutions, sometimes things don't always go according to plan, and adjustments need made accordingly. Take time to process the emotions that come with divorce. Don't rush into a decision. Seek professional help from a therapist or counselor. Talk to a trusted friend or family member about your feelings. Make sure you have a good support system in place. Consider the long-term effects of divorce on your children. Take time to think about what you want out of the divorce. Don't make any major decisions without consulting a lawyer. Make sure you understand the legal process of divorce. Don't let emotions cloud your judgment. Don't make any rash decisions. Don't let your spouse manipulate you into making decisions you don't want to make. Don't let your spouse control the divorce process. Don't let your spouse take advantage of you financially. Don't let your spouse use the children as pawns in the divorce process. Don't let your spouse use the divorce process to hurt you emotionally. Don't let your spouse use the divorce process to get revenge. Don't let your spouse use the divorce process to gain an unfair advantage. Don't let your spouse use the divorce process to gain control over you. Don't let your spouse use the divorce process to take away your rights. Don't let your spouse use the divorce process to take away your assets. Don't let your spouse use the divorce process to take away your children. Don't let your spouse use the divorce process to take away your freedom. Don't let your spouse use the divorce process to take away your dignity. Don't let your spouse use the divorce process to take away your self-respect. Take time to think about the decision and its consequences. Consider all options before filing for divorce. Talk to a trusted friend or family member about your situation. Seek counseling from a professional therapist or counselor who can help you work through your issues. Make sure that any decisions made are in the best interest of everyone involved, especially children if there are any. Don't make rash decisions out of anger or frustration. Take time to cool off first before making any major decisions. Try to communicate with your spouse openly and honestly about what is going on in the marriage and how it can be improved upon. If possible, attend marriage counseling sessions together with your spouse so that both parties can have their say and come up with solutions together as a couple instead of individually. Be willing to compromise when necessary. Don't always expect things to go exactly as you want them to all the time, because this isn't realistic nor healthy for relationships in general. Spend quality time together doing activities that both partners enjoy, such as going out for dinner, taking walks, etc., so that you can reconnect on an emotional level again after some distance has been created between each other due to marital problems issues at hand. Respect each other's opinions even if they differ from yours. Try not to argue over every little thing, but rather look for common ground where both parties can agree upon something without having heated debates over it all the time, which will only lead nowhere fast anyway. Avoid using negative language when talking about one another. This includes name-calling, insults, etc., which will only further damage an already fragile relationship between two people who may be struggling right now due to various reasons related directly or indirectly towards their current marital status quo, i.e., financial problems. Don't forget why you got married in the first place. Remember those feelings of love and commitment. Focus on rebuilding those feelings by spending more quality time together, doing things like date nights out or simply cuddling up on the couch watching movies, TV shows, while enjoying each other's company without distractions from outside sources, i.e., phones, computers. Remember that children should never be used as pawns during arguments between spouses, no matter how angry either party may get at times during disagreements. It is important not to involve innocent bystanders into these situations, since they could end up feeling scared, traumatized by witnessing such events firsthand, which would then cause long-term psychological damage down the line later, down life's path, unfortunately. So please keep kids away from these types of scenarios whenever possible. Find ways of expressing yourself positively instead of resorting back into old habits like yelling, screaming at one another. Learn new techniques, such as deep breathing exercises, which will help calm nerves and emotions while also allowing both sides enough space and privacy needed in order for them to properly process everything being said without feeling overwhelmed by everything happening around them simultaneously. Loud noises coming from outside sources like neighbors arguing next door. Keep communication lines open between yourselves, even if it means having difficult conversations. Sometimes hard truths need telling, but do so respectfully and calmly so that neither person feels attacked verbally by anything being said during these moments. Otherwise, resentment could build up quickly, leading into bigger fights than originally intended initially. So please stay mindful here, folks. Don't forget why you fell in love with each other in the first place. Focus on rebuilding those initial feelings again by engaging into meaningful conversations where both parties feel heard and respected equally, regardless of whatever differences may exist currently within their relationship dynamics right now today. This way, trust levels increase significantly over time, thus creating stronger bonds overall, eventually, hopefully. This video does not provide legal, financial, or tax advice. The information provided in this video is for informational purposes only and should not be interpreted as legal advice. If you require legal advice, please contact a qualified attorney, for example, by signing up for a free course on our website Divorce Lab Pro. We will connect you with the pre-selected lawyers or other experts you may need. Join our free course to learn how to navigate the divorce process. Learn about the negative impact of divorce on you, children, and family, and how to protect your rights. Pre-selected experts are available to help men through this difficult time. Get it free now at Divorce Lab Pro.